where did these people come from? Who are they? And there are no answers to that to be found in that exhibition. We know that the plastination process was engineered initially in China, in Dalian. We know that was an epicenter of Falun Gong harvesting. Gunther von Hagens, the head of the show, has claimed that the bodies are now Caucasian. And yet, several of the exhibitions there, the people do not look Caucasian.
Okay.
The women look, they have short legs, longer arms, smaller frames, smaller heads, though they're clearly full grown.
But what difference does it make anyway if they are Caucasian or Asian?
If they are Caucasian, possibly they came through a legitimate procedure of people volunteering their bodies or volunteering relatives' bodies. If they came through China, most likely the evidence, the circumstantial evidence, is that they came through the Public Security Bureau of China, but even worse, they came through the Public Security Bureau of Dalian and Jinzhou City. And we know that these public security bureaus were directly involved in the organ harvesting of Falun Gong and other political and religious dissidents. Refugees coming out of China have consistently pointed to Dalian, the same city that von Hagen was doing his work in, along with his partner, Sui, who has also got his own show that's roaming around, I believe, America right now, which has many more bodies on exhibition. And he blatantly admits that these bodies come from the Public Security Bureau. So for those reasons, we have to question. These bodies had to be fresh. The only way the plastination process works is if the body is fresh, not if it's been sitting around for 30 days waiting for someone to claim it. That means that these bodies were done most likely to order, exactly the way organ harvesting was done to order. Dalian was also a center of Western organ tourism. When they started seriously plastinating bodies on a fairly large scale, that occurred at precisely the time when organ harvesting of Falun Gong appears to have been peaking or nearing peak in China. I'm afraid that as much as we can have respect for anyone who is doing medical research, it is true that the burden of proof must fall upon him. However, there is something he can do about this.
What is that?
Those exhibitions that we see in there, as much as they have been turned in, the soft tissue and the fat has been removed. In many cases, the organs have also been removed, which suggests that these bodies could have been dual use. That is, they could have been both used as for their kidneys and livers and also turned to exhibits inside this museum here in Vienna. It is possible that the DNA is still resident within these structures. There are traces, small enough traces, but enough to measure. And the easiest thing in the world to measure is whether the DNA indicates a Caucasian or an Asian.
You ever asked the bodies exhibition to make it possible to extract the DNA from some of the bodies, the corpses?
I have sent a letter to the bodies exhibition. Of course, there was no reply. Honestly, I think we're going to have to make this a fairly public query. It will take some pressure to get them to respond. My hope, in my heart of hearts, is that Gunther von Hagens will prove that, in fact, his bodies are clean.
How do you feel personally when you look at all those school kids who just, exit this exhibition?
I feel very sad. This is a city which was engaged in and experienced horrible atrocities. This is absolutely inappropriate to be repeating history, even just an echo of history. When I first heard about this story, when Falun Gong practitioners came to me and said, this is, there's all those people in those exhibits are Falun Gong, I said, well, that's just too good to be true. That's just too scary a story. But the fact is, so much evidence has emerged which circumstantially points to a problem here. And the best thing to do is to not talk about it, whisper about it anymore, have it out in the open. Let's see the samples. Let's see them as soon as possible. I really hope the Viennese will take this matters into their own hands on this.